questions for the student athletes?
Brendan, how excited to get back out there this spring and kind of test out all the new toys and kind of see what you guys have after a pretty tough winter, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's been a very tough winter. Pretty much every workout we go through is tough, so just excited to get football going and see what these guys got that we brought in from the transfer portal, and then just excited to see the guys that we brought back, just how they've grown and everything, and I'm excited to see how we do as an offense and excel from last year.
Does a tremendous flow game and facial hair stay throughout the season, or just the spring, or what is it?
Yeah, it's staying. Hopefully it'll be a little longer than it was last year. We'll see what happens, but I think we're in a pretty good spot right now. Just continue to grow, man.
Brendan, you were quick to commit to coming back after the TCU game in that press conference when you could have been standoffish, played your options. Why were you so fast and so ready to commit to coming back?
I think we were really close to being a really good team last year. We lost a lot of close ones, and I feel like, if we got the right pieces back, that we could, really, make that jump as a team, especially as an offense. I feel like we left so much out there, and I was just excited to get back and, see what we can do this year. And, I don't want to put any guarantees out there that we're going to do this or that, but, just go out there and see what happens. But I feel really good about where we're at right now.
Gavin, you elected to return there, use your extra year of eligibility. Talk about that decision and what went into all that processing.
Yeah, I didn't really, when I knew after redshirt my freshman year and then the COVID year, I knew I had another year. And when I committed to play here when I was a sophomore in high school, I committed to play here the whole time I'm in college, no matter if that's 4 or 5 years, 6 years, didn't matter. So when I had that opportunity to come back for a 6th year, there was no doubt that this is where I was going to be.
You've got like a drill sergeant like going about you now, and you're a veteran captain. Does that carry on to the practice field, to the young players, or you get after them?
Yeah, because I'm going to have 3 new guys out there with me. Dan's coming back, and then there's going to be, Taryn is transferred, really high on him. He's can squat a house. But there's going to be 3 new faces out there with me regardless. So I need to continue to lead this team, and especially the offensive line and the offense with this guy right next to me. So that's kind of the look I'm going for now, yeah.
Gavin, you just gave high praise to Taryn Tyre there, obviously, with what he's done in the weight room. Talk about the combine over the weekend. Luke Kandra, John Williams both stood out there in the bench press. Talk about what it was like to see those two have that success down there in Indianapolis.
It's awesome because I've known both of them for 6 years and knew Luke through the recruiting process. He ended up, going to a different school and then ultimately coming back here playing. But I knew both of them, and I know them really well, and they're best friends for life. So seeing them have the success they've had, I knew as the off season and the things go on with the combine and whatnot, I knew a lot of teams would grow on John. John had a tremendous season for us last year, and whatever team gets either one of those guys, they're going to be happy with it.
Brendan, I'm sure you see a student that I'm trying not to say kids because everyone's kids to me, but people your age, you see them and they say, okay, 5-2 to 5-7. How do you sell them on this team can progress?
Yeah, we obviously got a lot of new faces in the building. We got the ones that I felt like were very impactful for us last year. We got those guys back. Really, I think we're really confident in the team that we have. I think that we were really close in the games that we did lose last year. Obviously, that doesn't change the fact that we lost those games, but we were really close. I think that if they just stick with us and trust us throughout this process, I think they're going to be happy as fans, and I think they'll be a part of a pretty big turnaround.
Gavin, Brendan mentioned pretty much every workout is tough throughout this winter. Do you kind of see the tough workouts testing people's actual love for football? And have you seen this group kind of express a love for football through their willingness to go through it?
For sure. I think off seasons are really necessarily a lot of things we do don't necessarily translate to football. It's not all about football unless we start doing PLPs and OTAs and stuff like that. It's really just testing how much can you go through and how much can you go through mentally to prepare yourself for the season. So there's guys that we're doing 25 push-ups, it's fourth quarter finisher, we do 2 sets of those. As an offensive lineman, it's kind of hard to do 50 push-ups. Realistically it is. So it pushes guys to the limit in those aspects, and we've seen a lot of guys this offseason that not necessarily I thought I would have seen, but a lot of good stuff.
How much time do you get to spend with the new guys or the younger guys going over, watching tape or talking about how Coach Cardwell does things? Do you get a lot of individual time like that where you can impart that wisdom going into spring?
Oh yeah, I'd say we've been training for 7 weeks, 8 weeks now. I think the first week we started doing a little meetings, but since then we've been meeting 3 or 4 times a week, regardless if Coach Cardwell's in there, Coach Price, whoever's in there. It doesn't matter. If I'm in there just with them, if it's just the young guys, going over calls that we make, adjustments to not necessarily game planning a defense right now, but going against our defense, just the basics of what we do. So we've been doing that for 8 weeks now.
How much are you guys looking forward to the new facility, and what have you seen from the new guys that come in? How big of a selling point is that to get them, this for both of you? The guys that you hung around, I mean, is that an eye-opening thing when they come in and see what's coming?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that, maybe coming from a different university that, might have had really awesome facilities and then come in and see this, I think that is going to be one of the nicest facilities in the country. And, obviously for guys like us, like I didn't come here for the facilities, obviously. Like I wanted to come here for the staff, the culture, the players, everybody there. And then just to get to see this grow and everything, I'm really excited to use it. And then guys like him who have been here for, it seems like 15 years and are just going to get the last half of his football career in that thing. So I'm sure guys like him are maybe a little disappointed they didn't get to spend more time in it, but obviously the younger guys and all the new transfers that got to see it and everything are really fired up to use it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, I've been here for 6 years, and I've been a part of the old locker room, the old nasty, tough and nasty locker room, the new one that we got. I've been a part of everything, so it's exciting to see something like that come into play.
How much time do you get to spend with the new wide receivers? I know you're not allowed to use a football and some of the stuff that you guys are doing now, but how do you work to get on the same page with those guys in boarding so that you hit the ground running at the start of the spring?
Yeah, whenever we are out there, even though we don't have a ball, we still get to see what they're doing versus corners or safeties, whatever it may be, and we can talk that stuff over because we can watch that back. And then we're just together all day long, pretty much. So I'm just in the locker room messing with them and getting to know them better as just people outside of just players. And I'm very fired up about the group of wideouts that we have, and excited to see how it translates throughout the spring ball into the season. But very excited.
Based on what you've seen, without practice yet, who are the ones that you would guess would be the ones that would be the most exciting to watch?
Everybody we brought in, everybody we got coming back is very electric right now. So I'm excited to see just how all these guys excel. I would assume that there would be a little bit of a separation obviously created throughout the spring, but we'll see how that pans itself out, and I'm just excited to see how it does though.
You ever get frustrated in that period? It's like, just give me a ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, well, whenever our receiver wins, I'd be like, well, that'd be nice to throw it to him here or whatever, so the defense could stop talking trash, because it's easy to talk trash to the defense and an offense whenever there's no ball, but the defense will find out soon enough that their trash talk is going to be eliminated, so we'll be good.
Gavin, have you gotten to know Tawi and some of the new backs that you're going to be pounding space for?
Oh yeah, him and Zion and even Manny and Evan, I've got to know them even more with another off season with them. I'm excited about that, the opportunity to have any of the 4 of those guys back there, and even maybe more. I think they all bring different aspects and a lot of different things to the table when it comes to their game. So I'm excited to block for whoever's back there for us.
Brennan, kind of going back to the drills without footballs thing, is it like a Russell Wilson pregame where you're like doing the fake throwing, or are you kind of just letting them do one-on-one routes?
No, so like that's how we get work out of it, is like we have to, like Coach Thomas wants to see us like point to where we would have thrown it. That way he knows, like, all right, like just because these guys don't have a ball, we still know that they're making the right decisions and everything. So that's still been good. Obviously, it's just a mental game more than a physical game right now, and that will obviously change on Monday.
And then kind of over the offseason, how many conversations did you have with Coach Satt about what you specifically wanted or needed out of receivers? And do you feel like this group kind of represents the things that can take this offense to the next level?
Yeah, 100%. I felt like just throughout the whole portal process and everything, I was, trying to, be with as many visits and recruits as I could be. But I think we got a great group of guys coming in that can run really well. They can jump, catch, do everything that a receiver needs to be able to do. And I'm excited to see what they can do whenever we get to spring ball on Monday. But I think we got a great group of guys.
How fun was the WWE experience, and how many people that you hadn't heard from in a while hit you up like, what are you doing on TV right now?
Dude, yeah. I mean, you want to go? It doesn't matter to me. I'm not a huge WWE guy. I mean, I do enjoy it, and I grew up watching it. But this guy is. I saw him at the Royal Rumble. I took my brother and Dante, and ended up seeing him in line. He had the John Cena wristbands on. He was on the floor though. I was up a little higher for the Royal Rumble. So, but it was a fun experience to get to spend time with those guys outside the building, and then represent the university in a great way. It was a good experience.
Cena's gone heel now. Your thoughts?
Disappointed. That's the only thing I can say is disappointed. But we'll see what happens. I'm a big WWE guy. Me and Dante were very fired up to hear that we were going to be going and sitting where we were. But yeah, a little disappointed about the John Cena heel turn.
Gavin, did you mean to stare straight into the camera in that picture that they all took?
You try and act natural in those situations, but it's like the camera was standing there for like a minute. So I'm like, I guess I could look at it for a minute. I could try and look away, act like I'm looking at something else. But they caught me at a bad time, that's for sure.
How was McAfee? Did he throw West Virginia shade at you?
No West Virginia shade. Thank goodness. But he was good. He talked to us pretty briefly, obviously, because he was busy. But it was good to see those guys and interact with them.
Any questions? Awesome. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thanks.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, fellas.